you would enjoy experience where you're with a woman and she kind of sugar mommies you, but marriage-wise, your wife, would you really idealistically want her to pay for everything?
Well, I feel like, and the work that I do, I mean, I sit a lot, which isn't good for your health, but like there are men that are breaking their bodies to provide for their wife. And I think for these men, obviously, like, I don't think any of them begrudgingly do that sort of work, but they fucking destroy their bodies. And it occurs, or it crosses my mind, like, would these men trade the back-breaking, difficult, grueling, dangerous, dirty jobs that a lot of men do to have like a fucking pampered life? Like, I know it sounds kind of simp.
No.
So then
I hear what you're saying.
These men break their fucking bodies, and it's like, I get that it's, maybe this is, I get that it's like, so as a man, you have to provide, you have to bring the money. If you're not, you're a pussy or you're emasculated. But I'm like, you guys are breaking your fucking bodies, and if some chick came in and was like, and you could still be in your masculine and still be a leader in the household, but she's making fucking bank, and you don't have to do that back-breaking work, and she's some fucking attorney or a doctor.
Would you stop doing the back-breaking labor and be fulfilled? Yeah, so
Yeah.
Is that the question? Is that like kind of what the point you're trying to get at?
I'm thinking, because like I view what I do, a lot of people might laugh at this. Like, I feel like the job I do is stressful. I work 70, 80 hours a week. I'm doing very well, but I'm working a fuck ton. I sit a lot. I got neck pain. I got back pain. So I think to myself, oh, I don't have to sit in a chair fucking 8 hours a day, and my girl makes money? That's not such a bad fucking trade-off from my view.
Sure, but
some of these men who are fucking plumbers, electricians, whatever, they're on their fucking knees all day. If you're a handyman, you're getting all fucked up. A lot of these guys, their knees are gone. Their back is gone by 50.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I don't know.
But would you not just trade that in for something that totally gives you purpose still, but is less like labor intensive?
I mean, I feel like what you're doing right now,
I'm saying it's totally fine, but I'm just pointing out that I feel like you would feel a little emasculated if she's paying for everything.
Absolutely.
Because then she is somewhat taking a leader role.
I've never been in the position, really. Right. So I haven't been there, so I don't know. But like, like, if I think about it, it's like, if some chick just fucking came in who's fucking insanely wealthy and is like, I'll take care of you. I'm like, assuming she's like, if she otherwise meets all my other metrics, like she's pleasant, attractive, etc. Like, is it that big of an L as a guy to date a woman who makes more money than you? Like, to me, that doesn't strike me as an L.
No.
Right, so that's something like you would consider not that important to give up for that in return, you know?
Yeah, well, I think like I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume that the work you do, you find fulfillment in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, in the same way, I think people who are plumbers, electricians, like if they just disappeared tomorrow, the world would fall apart. So in some sense, like probably a lot of them get a lot of fulfillment out of what they do. And so there's a purpose in their life, and so they get paid to do it. There is this goal where society runs, and then they get to come home to a family who is hopefully healthy, who hopefully they weren't sleeping around in their younger years, and they have this genuine bond, and they have kids, and they're propagating this legacy that will affect the human race for generations to come. So I think I think that is hardwired into men and women.
Specifically men, yes, like women too, but women get gratification from different places, and men need like purpose and need to be needed, essentially.
Yeah.
And like
I think it can depend from person to person, but generally, that is the case.
And just as far as what you're saying, I'm not saying like, certainly the work that these men who do backbreaking work, it's incredibly valuable to society, and I'm sure that, well, I would hope that they view it that way, that the work that they do, even men who are garbage men, like that's a very valuable thing. Like if there's no sanitation, like society starts looking very ugly very quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just look, again, I don't think this is a situation I'm ever gonna be in, but like,
Granted.
I can't, like, this idea, I feel like it's, this idea that if your girl, like, makes, here, let me clarify one thing. A girl who makes a lot of money, she's not more attractive to me. Like, it doesn't make her more attractive. Like, I'm not going out of my way to pursue wealthy women because for me, it's not an attraction trigger. But on a pure, like, long-term trajectory, like, is it kind of a plus? Sure. But I'm not going to be more attracted to a girl if she's obscenely wealthy. So it's not like I'm ever going to be in a gold digger situation where I'm, like, pursuing a chick because of her wealth. But
Echostatic85 donated $99.99. I'm a stay-at-home father. My wife works and makes all the money. I am fulfilled and don't feel emasculated or embarrassed. And frankly, being a stay-at-home father is harder than my last job.
Absolutely is a hard job.
And I was a New York City firefighter for 11 years.
I don't know, maybe like...
So...
Oh, did you have a follow-up or...?
To his comment?
I do.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I don't necessarily think that it has to be emasculating, but it goes against like your like the nature of how men and women parent. And like, I don't know how old your children are, obviously, but I think it is very essential for the mother to be very present in young children's life specifically. And I don't think a stay-at-home father can provide the type of nurturing that a mother can.
Yeah, but she can also be at home and be making that much money.
I disagree with that. Like, okay, from personal experience, my uncle is a stay-at-home dad, and my aunt is like the CFO of this company or whatever. And like he used to work at SeaWorld, and like when SeaWorld before they got canceled, but he was like a shark trainer or whatever. And he quit his job to like raise their kids, and I have a lot of respect for him for doing that, because I agree with you, it can be very emasculating for a man to kind of take on the role of what would be traditionally a woman. But I still think that a parent's love is a parent's love, regardless of if it's coming from a mom or a dad.
I agree, but the way that men and women portray their love for their children is fundamentally different.
Yeah.
Especially I mean, if we're talking about like random statistics on people that grow up in single parent households, especially with young boys that grow up in like single mother households are statistically like going to have a a smaller portion of them are going to graduate high school, are going to end up in a larger amount of them are going to end up in prison. But it's not the same for if it's a single father, because they fathers essentially provide discipline, and that's what young boys essentially need.
So you think they're missing like the feeling cherished?
Yeah, well, I think that, especially with, I don't know how old their children are, but especially with like newborns and infants, it's really essential for the mother to be very present compared to the father.
I would agree with that, yeah.
Did you have a follow-up?
No, not really.
Oh. What was the original question?
Okay, yeah, I was going to mention that. This conversation stemmed from paying for the first date. So that's why I was I was asking you what's ideal like in your marriage, because if ideally you're taking on the leader role and paying for everything and you don't pay for the first date, that's going to turn off a girl that maybe you would want to be married to in the future, right?
I see what you're saying. I'm working through it right now in my brain.
The wheels are turning.
Yeah, I mean,
I think like as a non-believer, so as a believer, when I go into a relationship with somebody, it usually comes with them sharing that kind of moral structure. There's a value system, an objective value system that is outside of what I think can be right or wrong, referenced in the Bible. But so when I go into that relationship, there are those values shared on the other side, because I've probably talked to them, I've probably gotten to know them, I'm texting, whatever. And so when I go on that first date, I can usually safely assume that she is not being promiscuous, she's not sleeping around with a ton of dudes. But in secular society, you can't make that assumption. Probably most women are going to be, I'm saying most women, not all women, most women are going to be sleeping around. So to go on that first date, it is hard for me to rationalize as a man giving my provisioning to a woman that is not going to give me her, I guess, her, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm at a loss.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay, go.
In-N-Out, right? Okay, the
Correct.
owners it's Christian, right?
Yes.
I don't know how attractive the heirs of the fucking In-N-Out dynasty are.
Fair enough.
I don't know how much In-N-Out. Let's say a billionaire Christian virgin heiress comes into your life. You turning her down?
No.
Okay, I shouldn't say heiress because then it's like family money.
Yeah.
She's not really working for it. I'm trying to think of a better fucking example.
No. Yeah. Well, so somehow she has a buttload of money.
Yeah.
But she works for it.
Okay.
She works for it. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Is that like for you? You say no to that?
I would have to dig a little deeper into. So, if I pursue this relationship with her, I'm not opposed to her having her job. I mean, she's single, so she has to provide for herself. So I'm not gonna make the assumption that like she's just gonna float on by and so she has to make money. So, but if I get married to her and we start having kids, is her primary goal gonna be mothering? Or is she going to be saying,
that's a fair point.
I want to keep working? Because if we're going to talk about biblically speaking, I mean, Proverbs 31, the basis for a ideal woman, the ideal wife is primarily mother, but then it lists all these other things that she should be. And one of my favorite verses in the entire Bible is that the woman should strengthen her arms. So she got to be in the gym.
Wait, okay, so what if she has all that money and she has time?
Yeah.
You know, her money's working for her. She can provide that attention to the child.
That actually is referenced in the Bible. So in Proverbs 31, it talks about the woman who can take what she has and she multiplies it. Mm-hmm. And it's not just this woman that is secluded to the home and is never seen. She is also well known among the city elders. So she has this ideal reputation.
She's well known by the city elders.
Okay, calm down, Brian.